We're gaming or something. I don't know. Oh, that's coming out the wrong speakers. Okay, I've got it switched up so it should cut the echo. Hello, Diamond Star and Ane and Chaluna and Quackers and Devi. Hello. And Lotus. Jen Sensei, how are you doing? Definitely a lot better. I actually went for a run this morning, and I felt like a slug with jelly for not just legs, but basically my entire body. But I did get through it. Only took me like an hour and a half nap afterward, and I was good. So we're getting back there. We're getting back there. And hello, Aragur, the Lord of Eternity. Hello. And Galactic Squid, egg, I agree. And Esseren, hello. I think I've probably asked how that's pronounced before, and I've forgotten. I don't remember. And hello, Whistlewind Wolf, and JR Hyde, and Helix Videos, and Alex Kabui? Kabui? KB? I don't know. And hello, Booskar TV, and JC, and Rainbow, or Rainy, I think you go by, and Emma, and Yippity. And you said before that this isn't Squid Military School, and yet you seem to be preparing us for battle? What? I don't remember saying that, nor that I'm doing anyway. And hello, Blua, and Uki Uki. And Mudpip. And Space Dog. Space Dog! There you are. I was trying to find you on Discord. And you, like, exist in the Squid School server. But I literally couldn't DM you because there's no post that has been made by or about you in the server. So I can't message you from there. And you're not showing up when I, like, try to search you on the DMs. So I was hoping you'd show up in chat or something. Just, like, DM me on Discord or something so I can, like, send you the password and stuff like that. And also feel free to hop into Waiting Room VC. Okay, I'm glad we found them, because they're one of our VOD reviewees for the day. Sometimes it happens where you just kind of lose a VOD reviewee, because, you know, they signed up for it like 2 months ago or something, and it's easy to forget, and you just, like, you try and communicate with them ahead of time or something, but for whatever reason, you know, Discord username has changed or something, and you're not able to get back in touch. And this is crazy because, like, we had a Discord DM already, right? You'd think that you could go into Discord and just search their username and that DM would come up. Because, like, it's got the history from back in March when we talked about this. But when I type in SpaceDog363 on Discord, nothing. So... okay, cool. So, mission accomplished on that front. I hope the fan isn't too bothersome there, the air conditioning unit. It's starting to get warm around here, and so I'm probably just going to keep that on so that it doesn't overheat during the during the stream today. And hello, Sai the Ninja and Orusku? I was waiting for you today, Gem, and today I'm on Twitch instead of YouTube. Whoa. Actually, that says Urub, but we'll let it slide. Welcome. And hello, Sunny. It's coming through on Restream, where I'm reading the chat, so the emote is just showing with its colon form, and it's person turquoise waving, which makes it sound like the person who's waving is turquoise, but it's probably just they're like wearing a turquoise shirt or something. And hello, Watermelon Cows. That's an awesome name, and I'm very curious to know the origin of that. Almost called you Chara. Come on. Hello. And hello, Bunny Hugger and Gator. Gator, were you here when we played Little Gator Game? Have you played Little Gator Game? You should play a Little Gator Game if you like gators. Snail Snot Colt. Hello. How's it going? How many chucks could a chuckwood chuck if a chuckwood could chuck chucks? At least 7. And hello, Jams Null and Umbreon Turtle. L Tetris is ironically not an L. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know how good it's going to be, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And frankly, I don't care, because even if it's not good, Tetris are already insane. So, the weapon's already doing fine for itself. It doesn't need a new kit, but it got a new kit that's fun. And that's like the most you can hope for, honestly. We now have Space Dog in the VC. Space Dog is not going to be speaking during the stream. They're going to be muted, but they are here. So that's awesome. And Bubs, you are also welcome to... Oh, right. Okay. So we do have a VOD for Bubs375, who is our other VOD reviewee. They're not going to be able to be here, but... I will be, giving them a VOD review anyway, so that they can go back and look at it afterward. It's actually pronounced as spelled. Alex K-B-W-I? Pronounced as spelled. That doesn't really help to say that. Like... Do you mean that I say each letter individually? I pronounce it like I'm spelling it? Like Alex K-B-W-I? I guess that might be what that means. But like, when someone looks at the way that the word is spelled and says they don't know how to pronounce that, saying, oh, you just pronounce it the way that it's spelled, that's the opposite of helpful. Oh, boy. I can't wait until summer. I'm going to get into tournaments, and you're going to be able to review my team and me. Awesome. So it's not summer break for you? Man, some schools do that at very different times from others. And hello, actually. But first, tests. Yeah. This stream reminded me to charge my Switch. I'm glad we could do that for you. And hello, this Plunker. And hello, Anna. What are we learning today? I don't know. It'll depend on what we see in the VOD reviews. But we're watching VOD reviews for Bubs375 and for Space Dog 363. We got a lot of numbers at the end of our names today. There's a fake gem in your lobby? No, that's a real gem. It's just spelled differently. I actually met Gem IRL at LTC. They needed an emergency sub, and I subbed in for them. And so we had to figure out who got to be called Gem at that time. And hello, Pat Gaming, and Ellen Kaida, and CJ Leader. Say it how you want. I've had my name pronounced 4 different ways. You got it. I will say it the way that makes sense to me, I guess. And hello, Isa. When are you going to start playing? Well, eventually. And hello, Temsa and Sunny. Yes, I saw that, Chaluna. Congratulations. The person is actually turquoise. Plot twist. And hello, Weege and Jojo Yay, interjection. You were learning from the grammar session that we had on stream recently. For those who don't know what that's referring to, I did a stream where I just explained all of English syntax in one stream. So if you want a big grammar refresher, that would be a place that you could go. Like your shorts, and I just randomly saw you live. Well, welcome. Good to have you. And hello, Star Shower Espoir. And Ash Binary. Tetris is really cool. Yeah. Those Tetris are really neat. And hello, Octo Josh. This is the Squid School stream. This is what we do every Tuesday, where we'll play for maybe 45 minutes or so with the people we're going to be VOD reviewing, and then we VOD review them. Late to class, there was a lot of traffic. No. Eat the traffic. I don't know. I don't know what teachers say to that, but try to make sure you leave yourself enough time in case there's traffic tomorrow, okay? I don't know that I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. On Thursday. This is a college class. We go on Tuesdays and Thursdays now. And hello, young cute. I'm almost at the bottom of this. And hello, Raya. I have GCSEs until the 23rd. I don't know what that means. Link to the grammar thing, or are you gonna bring the S-Blast to top tier meta? I mean, I'm not really a meta-defining kind of player. Like, I'd have to be a little bit better at the video game to be able to do that. It definitely has a lot of potential as a main weapon. I don't know if the kit's going to be good enough for it. My favorite Magic the Gathering card is Asmora Nomar Decadice Koldakar. Yeah. Pronounce it just like it's spelled. Exactly. Thoughts on the lag and low ink? It was bad, apparently? I mean, that's just based on individual connections, isn't it? I don't know if that's a low ink thing exactly. I don't think I've been to your stream, but I have watched some YouTube videos. Well, welcome. Good morning from Japan, Jem. Well, welcome from Japan. So it's morning? Okay, gotcha. It's morning on Wednesday, probably, right? So I think, like, Japan and Australia are, like, significantly ahead of us. The Coach Jeff of old. Oh my god. There was a time on the Bravest content where we would just refer to ourselves as Coach insert first name here. And so that's where the Coach Jeff thing comes from. Coach Jeff, Coach Mikey, Coach Andre, Coach Simon, etc. I have to take the ACT soon. That might be nice. I mean, my thing with the ACT is that, like, it's honestly not that stressful because it's over pretty quick. You only need to take it, like, once, usually, because, like, unless, like, I don't know. For me, the ACT was something I did literally no preparation for, because all that's going to be on the ACT is the stuff that you should have been studying in school already anyway. Like, it's hard to make up for not having paid attention in school by the time you get to the ACT, right? If you've got, like, 2 weeks to cram for it, that's not gonna get you there, probably. I'm sure, you know, some test-taking skills and some, you know, cramming with a study guide or something can probably get you up a point or two or something, but I don't know. I don't think it was that important to really work toward it. Who was actually called... I was the one who actually got called Jem. They accommodated for me. Which was nice of them. They're very nice. Highly recommend playing with them if you are good enough to play with them. I'm probably not. They're just... They made it into the top 16 bracket, whereas the team that I played with got Silver Redemption. and might not have made it out of that if we had finished it. They're pretty good. They're pretty good at the video game. Alright. Then there's me in Poland where it's midnight. Yeah. This is a college course. Are we supposed to call you professor? You're good. And hi, Eli. And Cozy Karma. Alrighty. What about the SAT? ACT and SAT are... SAT is honestly probably more important. But, honestly, here's the funny thing. For me, what was more important for me in all of my getting into college and everything, it was not at all the tests themselves, the ACT or the SAT. It was the practice SAT that they had us take. Because it was that test in particular that got us qualified for National Merit Scholarship. If you're in the U.S. and you've been through high school recently, or in the last, like, I don't know, how many decades? You probably know what that is. But, like, that was what determined national merit status, and that status got me the scholarship that made it more reasonable to pick the school that I picked. So that was more important to me than the actual SAT was. It was the practice one that they have you take for that. I am DMing Space Dog right now with... oh, shoot, wait. I need to... Okay, I skipped a step here. Because I need to create a... need to create a pool that we're going to join here first. So there's that, and then we do this, and put the password, there it is, okay. Alright, there you go, Space Dog. Are you gonna call Wiper Deco diaper in script? No. No, I'm not gonna call it that. I'm probably just gonna call it sword. I think that's the more reasonable thing to do. Or maybe Wiper, perhaps? It's like, once you've seen the weapons that they're bringing, unless they're bringing both a V-Wiper and a Wiper Deco, which does not seem like a thing that will happen often, there's no confusion. No, I am not on a team at the moment. What kit are you most excited for? It's about time the tent had something that works. The Tetris kit is going to be a lot of fun, but really, really hard, and I'm really curious to see how that goes. Essays matter the most on any college application? Yeah. There's a lot to be said about how all that works, and it's very different depending on where you're applying and like what kind of program you're applying to. There's also a lot of really weird ethics involved in that whole situation. Like, I'm deeply uncomfortable about the college admissions system in general. That's something that I don't feel is often handled as ethically as it could be. But it's really hard because the information that you have on how they actually do things is coming through, like, so many different degrees of separation before it actually gets to you. Space Dog, I don't know if you heard, but I did DM you the password and the name of the pool, so you should be able to... I'm going to set up... I'm going to wait until you can confirm that you're in the pool before I send out the invite. Just to be safe. Okay, you are in the pool. So, invite should have just gone out now-ish. Thoughts on Letra's getting Sprinkler and Zipcaster? Actually getting it? What was that, like... Was that something that was predicted or something? Like, we knew it had Sprinkler, we just didn't know what it had otherwise, and Zipcaster's pretty cool. There's Space Dog, awesome. Hated PSATs, and I take one next year. For the impact that kind of test can have on your college career and the amount of time it takes, it's totally worth it. Like, I got free tuition through college because of one, like, 2-hour test that I took. That's a big deal. That's worth 2 hours of work. And again, it's work that, like, you don't actually have to spend that much extra time preparing for or anything. So, I'm totally cool with it myself. Is Cat still up? No, Cat's not still up. Good. Alright, this is going to be it for us for now. So we can just ready up from here. I assume Devi's going to be joining us soonish. How many cats do I have? I only have one. His name is Romeo. It's the name of the intro music. You mean for the YouTube videos? I think it translates to pineapple, but it's Japanese. It's from a royalty-free music site. Why aren't we calling the V-Wiper the Viper? That'd be neat. Playing with viewers tonight. I typically don't. There was a time where I played with viewers a lot. The problem with it now is that there are so many people who would play that the entire stream just becomes an exercise in making sure that as many people as possible get their turn, which is probably exhausting for everyone involved, because it's like, you know, making sure to add so many people and distribute so many passwords and, like, get all of these different people on board. It was worse when you had to manually add people with friend codes, to be fair, like, because that would just eat 15 minutes of each stream. Why did that kill me? I'd just eat like 15 minutes every so often because you had to just delete your entire friends list to make it work. And everybody had to just like watch you do that because you're constantly adding and removing the people who have been playing with you. It wasn't enjoyable for me. Like, I felt like it wasn't worth it for other people. That, like, it's like when you go to like an amusement park and you wait 2 hours for like a 5-minute ride. That was what I felt like I was doing for people. And sure, people will pay for that. I don't feel like they should. I feel like that they're just doing it because like everyone does it, and that like that's insane that that's expected of people ever. There's a Rush who's trying to run a clan to our basket, and I'm swimming behind them. They're just in our base. They're like up in our top level snipe. Okay, they're just gonna hammer down at us. Okay. Well, we'll see if we can make this work. Alright, there we go. I never actually got the brush, by the way. So that's the reason I don't do it, and probably the reason that like many larger streamers, or even like I guess what you would call mid-sized streamers, don't do it. It's for that reason. Well, I missed some shots there. Oh, that's unfortunate. Game audio really quiet, or is it just me? Quieter than usual? That can't be correct, because I haven't changed any of the settings. It might be that maybe, like, my audio is louder, and so maybe that's making it seem like the game audio is quieter by contrast? I don't know. But those volume levels have not changed. Not quite. We had the right idea there. The fan is mega loud now? Okay, we should probably turn that off then. Sorry about that, folks. The fan turns on and off is the thing. Here, I can turn it off now. Hopefully that will help with volume stuff. We can keep that open. I could potentially jump.
Oh.
No. Oh, no. Well, tossing it back. Oh man, I should die for this. I will. Thought I was in range the whole time. Probably should have noticed that earlier. So you just need a power climb +1.
Yeah, I'm trying to defend the heck out of this with you.
Knot is down. Hammer's weak. Stop the brush if we can.
I'm trying to get this other guy. Cav strikes.
Down to the machine. Good stop.
That's a hammer. Oh, they're one. I got him. Yay.
There's still one alive?
I
Okay,
got
good.
him. I don't get it. I can't fight anything else, but I can go head on into a hammer. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, I missed a donation earlier from the Red Grin. Hey Gem, wanted to say that you've been a big help to me getting into Ranked Sploon, as well as having other videos that were really insightful. Thanks. Well, thank you so much. That's really kind of you. I like the fan noise. Chillfen just wants to watch the world burn. Hello, Chillfen, by the way. I've missed you, Chillfen. It's been
I'm
a
not
minute.
even a backline, and I still got popular target. What is this?
Some things never change.
Apparently not.
Sometimes I wonder, with all the HP specials and displacement running around, if backliners actually needed at top level. I mean, they haven't been needed, per se, at top level since, like, Splatoon 2.
Useful, but they're not necessarily needed.
Right. Like, it's not like if you don't bring a charger or a splatling or something you're throwing. There's definitely value to them, especially on particular map modes. Like, I would say that on Brine Water, if you've got someone who can play Charger, you should really probably put them on E-Leader on that map. But also, like, if you want to run an aggressive comp and just have a bunch of frontliners and midliners, that can work too. There's going to be someone who's playing the, like, anchor role. Because, like, really, at the end of the day, the roles are just priorities. They are not, like, necessary things that you have to fit yourself into like they are in some other games. But it is definitely possible not to run them. You feel like any new advice is needed from your get out of rank videos from S2? I was watching your C rank video and feel like the players I see are a lot less newbie than in the video. The skill level of the game will, you know, definitely improve over time as more is learned about it and people have more time to practice it. But I would also say that, like, even if everyone is going to go through that, everyone's going to go through that learning curve. It's just a matter of, like, you know, it may not be super well aligned so that, like, this is exactly the kinds of mistakes people are making in C rank anymore. They'll make those mistakes, just maybe not at that point in time anymore. So I still feel like it's valuable. Just, like, the thing about those videos also is that I've always said that they're not really gated by the skill level there. Like, you can be S+ and learn from the C rank video, and there's still valuable things in that video. It's just like, I based it on, here are the most common things that I saw people needed to work on in each rank. So it is tailored to them from that experience. It's not to say that it's, like, that's the only video you need to watch to get out of that level or anything like that. Or that, like, it wouldn't be valuable to ever watch those videos if you're not in that exact rank. Not exactly clickbait. I mean, at the time, you know, I was trying to exactly document, here is what people are doing wrong at this level, and so if you do these things instead, this is what I figure will get you out. But it's a product of its time, as is all art. Ah, that was not painted my color. I could not swim in that. It did make the videos real. Oh my god.
Oh, this is hard.
Oh, I did not get the ballpoint. Yeah, I hate marketing. I think marketing is one of the most evil things in society. Ah, okay. Oh, that's an inkjet.
Well, I traded with a clam.
Yeah, good defense. That's everyone but the ballpoint. Ballpoint is out of charge and they've retreated to mid.
Ballpoint's mine! Oh, hi!
One drop left on me?
They're...
Top mid? They just kind of rolled over. Okay. Another one trying to go over top mid? Hey, okay, got ballpoint.
In front of me.
Hammer pushing me.
Yeah, I see it.
Hammer weak.
I hit it twice, I got it.
Watch out for Booyah.
I got one with try. Why are we this way? Oh, clam. I didn't want to throw it yet because it was really open.
Cool.
I managed to get on their top left.
That was a really good slow push that we got going there. You just kept the pressure on, kept exhausting their resources, waited until they didn't have a special that they were going to be able to use to stop us, went in and were able to hold the basket.
I still got popular target.
You're a skirmisher, like that's what you're supposed to do.
I guess so.
Oh wait, no, you're not playing Machine anymore.
No, that's been Space Dog the whole time. I mean, it's one of the 3 I've been working on, but it's not the one I'm playing in this instance.
Yeah, that is a little weird, because you're more of a support weapon. Should probably be me that's getting shot at the most, if anything. Me or Senior Dog. I want to enter in a team, but I can't pass the language barrier. Do you have any advice? There are definitely people who speak a lot of different languages who play the game. I don't know which language you speak in particular natively. Because there are definitely some that will be a lot more popular in the community than others. It's a relatively small game, so it's not like you're just gonna find, like, anyone who speaks any random language.
Left. There was one left. I don't know where they went.
It's probably you're probably looking for, like, one of
They're on the back.
the...
Middle. Oh, got him. Oh, hi. Woo.
We're probably looking for one of the bigger world languages. English, Japanese, French,
no.
Spanish. There's a lot of German people who play, so you could probably find German players.
We don't have any clams. Oh my god.
Chinese as well, there's a big Chinese-speaking community. But,
Jerry,
I mean,
I need one, so do you.
I'm
Here.
fighting.
You went down.
Yes.
That's a hammer.
But, if it comes to it where, like, the language that you're working with just isn't popular enough to try and make a Splatoon team around it, there just aren't enough people at your skill level who speak your language, then there might not be much more you can do besides try to learn one of the more common languages well enough. It's like, learning a language is hard. There's nothing around, no, like, easy way around it. There's no trick to learning a language. It's just a lot of memorization, a lot of, like, patience, a lot of time.
Uh-oh.
And that language skill will certainly help you in other places than just Splatoon.
A clam gold killed me. Oh my god.
They're weak. Got him. There, that's wipe. Blade wipe.
Okay, do we need clams this time?
We had clams last time, we just died.
No, we actually had no clams on the push that we had, and then I went back.
I
and
had
got, like,
7, and then I died.
But when we initially got the advantage, though, we had 3.
I see. Well, I've got 7 now. Okay, I've accidentally got that now.
The wall nearly killed me, Jem. You just about pulled a toxic.
Well, it saved me, so...
Uh-oh. Got one. There's 2 in front of me.
Wailing.
I am still one shot. There's one on your whale, where I died.
Hit him once. Nice. Oh, I didn't land in.
There's
No.
all four there.
It was falling straight vertical, and it still didn't go far enough.
Oh my goodness. The fact that Tetris outranges me.
Tetris outrange a lot of things.
I know, but it's annoying because it's just like what I'm used to. I can take those fights.
You take those fights with your kill time. Because, like, your kill time is significantly better than theirs is. You just gotta get on top of them and not miss. It's definitely a lot harder with specifically the splash as compared to, like, the splatter shot. Because the splatter shot has a little bit more range, and that helps it stay in range most of the time.
Why I'm struggling with splashes in general, and then it's just like... Yeah...
Dooley's on ramp.
We're really just... I have no paint! Ah, and I need ink. Oh, there's like two things here. Please try strikes. Do we have a ball?
No.
Oh no. I almost have one. I have one.
One dropped right.
One flanked me.
I'm alive somehow. Not anymore. Okay, but we got
we need that
several.
ball.
We need to save the ball. Save the ball. Get the clam. Get the clam.
No!
It's gonna die now.
No! Swim speed, please! No! Ah!
That's probably game.
Enough clams in time. I've got 6, but that's it.
Yeah, Space Dog, you were the last one up in that situation. When we dropped the power clam, we needed it to trigger overtime, so we just needed you to drop back and pick it up real quick. But yeah, that was a tough situation at the end.
Yeah, I'm kind of dying inside without range. It's hard. I mean, I'm getting a support score in the most sense, but this is quite the challenge for me.
Yeah, you're honestly doing your job there. Like, you're getting big paint numbers, not dying a lot, still having an impact in fights, using a lot of specials.
Look, right now, for my weapons that aren't backline from, like, strongest to weakest that I've been working on is Machine, Rapid Deco, and then Splash Neo. And then V-Splash.
Extremely different weapons.
Yeah, but the thing with the first two is that they both do, like, a first shot kind of poke. Like, they don't a one-shot direct.
Yeah, the Rapid and the Machine are very similar.
But the other two are just the shooter painters, and of course, it's my weakest class. So, well, I lied. It's my, like, third weakest class, but...
Yeah, and no worries, Space Dog. Like, it is a learning moment for sure.
Katanas are my weakest class.
I'm gonna get early whale.
Okay.
Whaling into mid. That's 2 down.
2 down.
1 on right. The weak. Hit him once. Oh, they retreated well.
Oh, there was another one on right. I didn't realize they were hiding in a corner.
Yeah.
They're jumping in behind.
Well, we scored, so we have time to clear that out.
I got splatted by Washington.
They are staying here, though.
There's one on our base.
There's a sploosh in our base, yeah.
Oh! I missed my shots entirely. They're still up there, aren't they?
Yep. And they're gonna super jump that in, which isn't gonna work because they're not in range to throw it in yet. Well, it is gonna work because they got a whale, or they got a wall.
One shot. I recognize one of them on their team, so this is making sense to how this is going. I'm trying to get a try strike here. All right, I got it, but
Yeah, I've got whale ready. Whaling ahead. Double wall, that's obnoxious.
painting the wing real quick here. There we go.
Oh, that's a hammer.
Hammer.
Trying to go in with these
Kraken.
strikes.
Force the Kraken. That's me.
Oh, shoot. I screwed up against the Glugas. They rolled backwards right as soon as I got on top of them.
Right. Sploosh is trying to do sploosh things on the right corner here. The roller got him. Oh, both Glugas. There's a Glugas and something else.
It's Glugas and 96 Deco.
Yeah. I'm gonna die. I took out the walls. I don't like that you
Sploosh
can't
on left.
win. Yeah, special out. It's another booyah. Ooh. Okay, I have another. Got one. Oh, that's a hammer.
Sploosh out on right.
Yeah. I wasn't close enough.
That was that
Oh,
extended
this is
hitbox.
unfortunate. Bye.
They're trying to come in. Yeah, they're not gonna get there. Well, okay.
Had to slam and kind of went in behind. And
Yeah, if our roller goes in and dies, then I guess they get to
that's
stay
not
here.
gonna
But
help. I'm gonna try and strike out mid again in a second here. Oh, never mind. I'll go after the booyah. I think there's one on the left corner.
they got me before my wall went up. Nice. That's 2 down. Inkjet on left.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna die to the no! I had that. I forgot about the drop
Oh
roller.
no! I thought I had that.
I saw it on 2 as well. Oh, that's range. Can't fight it. Nope. Bye. Oh, I died to a curling bomb. Rip.
That's a crack in the center base. Focus one's in
Just
mid.
cover the. Oh.
Oh, it's just me. I'm jumping out.
I don't know where the 96 went. I don't trust up here.
Well, the Kraken was in our base.
Yeah. And I know.
Sploosh got me.
Hammer. Oh, it's a lot down there. All 4 right below the basket.
I'm down. 2 on our ramp.
I am trying to not die. While still doing things. Oh. I splatted the wrong person. Well, I'm painting the map at least. I didn't have much impact that one. Oops.
Yeah, I don't know if the roller we were playing with was really taking full advantage of the paint that they had to work with.
Yeah. That was rough.
They were kind of swinging at things before they were in range of it, or like diving into 1v3s or something.
Uh-huh.
I recall you went on about how a certain Smash player received so many gifts that you thought they had to them lost their merit. Have you ever received a gift from your fans?
And hapless.
Like to give you one if ever we meet. I got a gift from some like Discord mods after a certain milestone got hit on the channel, which was nice. It's not like I'm
Oh,
in that
hammer's
situation
weak.
where like
No.
everyone just thinks to give me Pikachu stuff or whatever, like with Axe, which was the example I was talking about there. And also, I do want to say that I don't know if I'm speaking for Axe when I say that. Like, Axe might feel differently about it than I would from the way that I saw it.
Oh no. I tried to help Space Dog. It failed. On the right, Gem. Watch the right, Clash. We went left. They went left.
I hit the brush once.
Oh. There's two dipping in that corner.
I'm in some trouble. I should probably jump.
There's one in our left, so I can't really go too far at the moment. Trying. Watch
We got
behind.
one.
Oh no.
That's trade.
Well, the Viper's to my left, the Clash is right in front of me, and the Brush is also right in front of me.
Wailing.
Okay.
One drop left. That's the brush that got me. Brush pushing in, brush pushing in.
I'm being body blocked! Hammers.
Got 2. Got 3.
That's a wipe. I have 5. Uh-oh.
I have 4.
Here. Oh, Brush got me behind you.
Got brush.
There you go.
Wiper dropped on the block.
Can't jump into
Just
that.
gonna be Space
Top
Dog.
wave. Oh,
Nice.
I got whaled, and I'm getting torpedoed.
Nice, that's 3 down.
It's just wow.
Brush is last.
What happened?
They were all sitting on the same spot, and I guess they all got whomped by something. Oh, well. It's the one thing that's gonna beat my wall.
Uh-oh. There's like 3 in that corner. Oh.
Yeah, just a matter of scoring as much as we can at that point.
They like to take the left a lot. I've noticed that. Yeah, there's 2 there. I got 1. So if we can try to keep control of the left-hand side, they're
Oh,
gonna be
I got
forced to
hammered.
swap the other way.
They're pushing our basket.
Yeah.
The roller went down to the hammer as well. Just you, Debbie.
Uh-huh.
Rush down.
There's a couple here with a hammer and stuff.
Flash got me. They're 2 down, though. They're rushing it. They're rushing it.
Yeah, I needed to be patient for that.
Just brush now. They did jump in. They're in mid.
Yeah, I see them running. I'm just painting. Taking away space. Well. There's a Clash to my right. There's a Brush somewhere near me. There it is. I am very weak. Away.
I'm being pushed on left.
I just have to jump back. I'm the one with the clam. There's one on the right! Clash!
They're a bunch behind me.
Got one. I'm just keeping our ramp just secured at the moment. 30 seconds. Oh, that's
Rush
a brush.
on left.
Yep. It whaled.
Brush pushing. Hammer in. Flash is down.
Hyper's on the right.
Dropping right. Brush down. There's a jump to mid that I should be
There's
able to
two more
camp.
right.
Got the jump.
I got their clam. It's a hammer. Rush got it. Rush is one cap. Flash is guarding it. Oh, I had tri-strikes
Yeah,
in the way!
We would have had them. I was wailing them and starting to shoot at them.
Yeah, still popular target. Let's go.
I don't know if that means that you're really far away from where they are.
In all honesty, like, what is it? Like, they're in range of me, and I see that they're coming towards me, so I'll, like, back up probably more farther back than I need to be, just because I'm not used to taking the close-up fights yet. So...
The other thing
visible.
is that it might be is stealth. That, like...
I also don't swim a lot. Like, I'm not used to swimming a lot either, so yeah, that's definitely a factor.
Like, because a big part of learning to play the shorter range weapons is just, like, not being seen until you're in range.
Yeah. Considering our comp, though, I've been literally making sure I'm keeping the paint up for the other two, because they kind of just go, yep, just like that.
Okay. Oh,
Because
crap.
I need to take
I'm down.
space away from the wiper.
Question in chat, Jem, who's your favorite idol? It was Callie. Sorry to disappoint your prediction.
How did I miss that? Still a wiper in the corner at the pillow with a friend. Jerry. Oh, you got the clam. Okay,
yeah, I
you're
caught
good.
the clam
Never
holder.
mind. I didn't realize that until
I can't
had
stop
to
it from
double check.
jumping at this point, but...
Yeah, we got the rest covering.
I got
jumps.
2v1 done right.
That's a hammer. Yeah, we're all stuck here with Viper and Clash.
They're coming over the block.
There's a Viper just below me. There
It's
it
just
is.
you.
Oh!
Okay, good stop. Good stop.
They're still there.
I know, but we didn't let them get any more in off of that score.
Oh, we picked up the pity. Oh no. I got one with a bomb. I'm gonna die to Clash probably.
Flash down.
Okay.
I'm down to
Still a
Viper.
right in front of- yeah, I can't swim apparently. We're gonna go like this.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea as long as the basket is covered.
Yeah, I was like, there's 3 of us in front, so I'm gonna go around.
The big thing is just making sure they're not going to get overwhelmed as soon as you leave. Nice.
Oh no.
Thank you, Debbie.
You're welcome. That's a hammer. Heads up.
incoming. Yeah, I'm going to back up.
I didn't land the shots on the 52. I tried it though.
Yeah.
Rip.
The roller sat right on top of me, which is exactly where everyone was looking.
Of course it was. I'm dead. I got comboed by 3 things.
Flash is down.
Protect
52 weak, nice. One more,
I got him.
nice.
I got him.
Flash is respawning.
I got mid, but not the wings. Oh, Fresh is on the right.
Flash down.
Fresh on me. They got me.
Well, that was unfortunate timing to pop that. And our roller is just kind of in there, huh?
Yeah. I think this is the last one anyway. Otherwise, I'd be like, can we leave?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna change weapons anyway, but I was like, I'll just hold out till the end because we were close.
That was a really good curling bomb.
I traded with the Clash. There you go.
Where's Wiper?
Should be spawning?
Okay.
As far as I know, I think there was a trade that happened on our ramp with it.
Okay, going in with the whale. Got one. Got two. We're in. Alright, I'm down.
No! I got a clam in, but that was a good turn. As soon as I went for it, I was like, I'm gonna get yeeted by a hammer. We're not gonna have time to get a full power clam in. I went back and grabbed three.
As soon as you went down, there was nobody left to score.
I saw that
Nobody
because
could've
the
made
other
it.
one was back collecting for an entire power clam instead of getting just little bits at a time. So I tried grabbing what was ever close and then come back into the fight and then grabbed what was ever close and come back into the fight because I saw our fourth was still wandering around in the wings trying to create an entire power clam. And I'm like, uh-oh.
Make a music tier list? Oh, like a Splatoon music tier list? That makes sense. There's still a lot of songs. I could probably do something like that at some point. Alright. Well. Let's get, since Space Dog is here, let's get Space Dogs pulled up. Actually, Space Dog, I don't know if I have a... Yeah, I don't have a replay code or anything from you yet. Could you send me that over DM real quick? Gem, why don't top players booyah at the starts of matches? Have their hearts been frozen by the cruelty of war? By war, I mean clams. Because they can tell each other booyah at the start. They can speak to each other like human beings instead of like squids on Discord, because they're going to be coordinating with each other. GG's Hapless and crew and Becca, and I'm forgetting who else was there off the top of my head. Yeah, the push at the end was like best case scenario, I think. We just didn't have enough clams being cycled in, and we eventually got overwhelmed on the offensive side. But that was definitely the strongest showing we had in the match. All right, there we go. We've got a code from Space Dog. I'm really quickly going to get set up so that it's projected into the VC. Oh, and it looks like Devi hopped out. Thank you, Devi. If you're still here, hope your internet didn't crash or something. Okay. So now Space Dog should be able to see this live. Yeah, it's still here. Okay, okay. Alright, this is RVW2, LBN5, L6G6, and U978. I'll be right back. Water. It's pretty good for you, as it turns out. Are we just talking about Texas because someone said y'all? Because, like, y'all is not just a Texas thing. I say y'all all the time. And I've never lived in Texas or anything. Y'all's just like a really useful pronoun. Beyonce, oh my god. Glass soup? No. Nails are cute. Thank you. Aplo did them at LTC. One of these might get green screened out because the name of the nail polish is apparently green screen, but it's all meant to look... one of them's chipped away a little bit, so maybe this isn't the hand I should have shown to showcase the work properly. Also, for some reason, I can't get my thumb in the frame. Yeah, it is actually getting green screened. That's really funny. But it's meant to look like a little Squid School thumbnail on these ones especially. It's just a little bit blurry, but it's the same color scheme and everything. Gem, I have a y'all. Yeah, like in German, the pronoun ihr just means y'all. So it's helpful. Oh, and Space Dog is saying that they used to live in Texas and y'all is super useful. Yeah. So. They yassified Gem Squid School? Oh no. Is it hey y'all or hey all or hey y'all? It's easier to say hey y'all, so that's usually what people lean into, because you don't have to hey y'all. Hey. You don't have to end the Y sound. You can just hey y'all. Transition using it to cross from one word to the next. So even though it's more awkward to spell, usually you're going to say hey y'all. Or howdy y'all. I don't actually say howdy. I don't know. It's just the stereotype there. Alrighty. Just use you as plural and thou, thee as the singular. I have got so many opinions on the archaic, like, thou, thee pronouns. Because they're fine, except the way that people use them is not fine. God, I cringe so hard when people try to just work those into modern English. Like when the fan fiction writers who don't know the history of the older variants of the language just try to intersperse those, but everything else they're just speaking like a normal American would speak in the modern day. It just ugh. It hurts me. It hurts me. Anyway, so we're watching Space Dog here. Sprichst du Deutsch? Yeah, nicht genug is the answer to that question. They asked, do you speak German? And I told them, not enough. Not enough. I understand the grammar of it decently well. My problem is that I just don't have the vocabulary to speak with a native speaker and understand even half of what's being said. So, like, if I see text, it's pretty quick for me to just translate the couple of words that I didn't know and understand the sentence pretty quick. It's like, if I need to read German, then I definitely can, just given a dictionary. But speaking it, I'm very far off from being able to do for now. I only took like 3 years of it in school, and those 3 years were not as effectively spent as they probably could have been. Prima. There we go. All right. Are there any fun stories from your teaching years? No, there was no fun allowed in any of my classes, so we did not have fun. We're taking a look at this match here from Space Dog. Space Dog, is this solo queue? I'm guessing it probably is, because there's someone with a prefix that looks like a team prefix that's not matched by anybody else in the team. Solo? Yeah, okay, X Battles. Got it. Alright. The comp's not terrible, considering this is solo queue. You do have a little bit less frontline than you probably want, so better to err on the side of playing a little bit more aggressively. Obviously, don't put yourself outside your weapon's, advantage state, but definitely, like, your dualies are going to be diving a lot, and it's going to be very useful to keep an eye on them and follow up with them when they pick a fight. So, and then we've got Wavebreaker, Bubbler, Zip, and Crab. Not too bad. And then we're looking at a Hydra, so we've got to watch out for the range on the Hydra. So there are a lot of weapons that we can just kind of throw things at and laugh, but the Hydra is not one of them. The Dapples also, we want to be... Dapples, you've got to play a certain way against. It's not that they're infallible or anything. It's not that they're like a particularly good option, but they do force you to play a certain way to counterplay them. You've got to paint a lot. You've got to constantly be checking for beacons. You got to make sure that you're not going to get sharked, because that's the number one thing they're going to try and be doing. What that does mean, though, because that's the way they're going to want to play, is that the only painting weapon that they're really going to have on their team, the only weapon that's going to spend a significant amount of time doing that, is the T-Tech. If you are able to, like, get the T-Tech at some point, then you're really going to be able to take a lot of space, because they just can't outpaint you. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, and to be clear, it's not like super common that I hear people where I live say y'all. In fact, y'all, I feel like it's becoming more common specifically because of like youth culture rather than it being so much regional. I feel like it's just more common for whatever reason. I guess someone decided that they liked it and kept saying it, and that caught on. Yeah, I don't know exactly why that is, actually. Because I've never lived in a place where, like, y'all was a common thing to hear old people say, or anything like that. Anyway. Started off regional, then everyone realized how useful it is. Yeah, it's like, this fulfills the third-person plural pronoun. We do not have one of those in our pronoun chart. So, like, why not use it? Y'all also has sass. I'll take your word for that one. Cool, so we got 2 down. Okay, hold on. Why is it not... Okay. That was weird. So nice, we get a player there. Our teammates gets 1 on the backside here. Now we do see the player that ends up attacking us in mid here. Like, as we're swimming up this block, we can spot them going up into mid. So that's something that we don't want to miss here, especially since that's the Dapples and, you know, they're putting beacons down and hiding around and stuff. Like, when you've got a sharking weapon especially, you've got to be really careful about, like, where people might be. In general, I think you're a little bit ahead of your team. Like, as soon as you see that they're up there, like, calling this way is not a bad idea, because it is definitely time to be pushing up, but we've also got to be realistic about which fights we can take at this moment. If we're that separated from them, we need to be able to at least survive long enough to stall for time for them to be able to catch up to us. And we didn't quite have that time before they were able to pinch us, so... it's not, you know, the end of the world, because you ended up getting one before this, so it's just a 1-for-1 trade. It maintains the status quo, but this might end the tower push a little bit faster than it could have ended. Alright, nice. Good job helping to get that player. We want to definitely... Good job, good job. We want to stop the tower from going all the way back to mid. Because if it goes all the way back to mid, this player on the left just has access to it for free. They can just, like, pull it away from you and force you guys to come to mid to reclaim it. Alright, so we end up taking that player out. Nice. Good use of the zip. Keeps the Hydra off the tower for a little while. This is the second time now that we've seen the Hydra taking that position, so that's data that we should keep in our heads. Like, just, if the Hydra's alive, haven't been seen for a minute, look up there, see if they're up there, especially if you're around this first checkpoint area. It seems like they like that spot. Unfortunate. That's pretty much the whole team going down. I'm looking at the fight that we end up taking here. Because tower is on this side of the map, right? And we've gotten that player, and the player over there who's on the left side of the map is backed up. The only one that's in your way right now is the Hydra. That's the only thing that's keeping this tower from being able to push. If you just keep riding the tower here, yeah, there's that T-Tech you gotta watch out for on the left. But they can't stop you, and you're going to be running away from them, and at a certain point, their position becomes irrelevant. I don't think you need to run all the way across the map like we end up doing here to go and, like, fight the T-Tech or something. Like, look at where they're throwing these strikes. Those 2 strikes are completely irrelevant to the tower push if you just, like, stay on the tower. I don't think you had to worry about them this much. Because it's like, yeah, we get them, which is nice, but also the tower hasn't made any progress in all the time that we were taking them out. So I'm not sure how important it was to go after that. I feel like if we were to just maintain control of the tower and keep pushing, we probably have already cleared second checkpoint at this point. That you have, like, the zip and you can push up. It means we had to deal with the Hydra somehow, but with, like, 2 or 3 people looking at it, I feel like you had a way to do that. So that might have been what I'd go for. It's just like, when you're playing an objective mode that moves like this, like Rainmaker or Tower especially, what matters is what's in front of the tower, what can stop the tower. If somebody's, like, on the opposite end of the map from the tower, sure, you can know where they are, but I don't know that it's the most important thing to go after them. So that's my thinking there. And again, you know, it doesn't hurt to have that player go down, but also what happens is the best case scenario, that we collapse on that player quickly, get them down, and then turn back to do something that helps the tower. What can easily happen there is you get sucked into a fight that you don't have to be taking, that's costing you a lot of time, and meanwhile your team disintegrates on the front line. Or even you just get splatted, taking a fight that you don't need to take. So, that's probably not a fight that I would have gone for, going after the T-Tech there. I probably would have just tried to keep my focus on the like, Hydra and stuff. Because, like, now, look at the amount of paint around the tower that's the enemy's color. Look at the fact that there's someone who's made it to the tower already that we're having to fight back. Look at how the Hydra has been able to get into this high ground position. Like, I think if there's more pressure ahead of the tower, this push doesn't get stopped anywhere near as early as it does. It's really unfortunate that your teammate got caught there. That's going to stagger your team. We don't want to be, you know, going too aggressively and taking really committed engagements yet, because we don't have that player with us and we're a little bit staggered. This jump is really risky. You threw, not only did you drop, which is very visible because you're flying through the air, but you also threw a burst bomb, which is going to alert people more visually. And now you're cornered. So you have no escape route whatsoever. The only place that you can move is forward, which is almost certainly going to put you closer to the enemy team. Yeah, and you go down right away. There's not really anybody who can follow you into that. There might be people who are able to provide cover fire, but remember that they have a Hydra, which is going to outrange anything on your team. So I think that jump was just pretty reckless. Like, we want to be keeping ourselves safe in that situation, not staggering. Maybe painting for special or something. Maybe getting an angle on the tower that our teammates aren't taking so that we can sandwich it when the time is right. But we don't want to be just, like, hard engaging on the front right away, I don't think. I think that's going to cost us a checkpoint for sure. Maybe even a second one. So we know there's one to our right, and this time we go after the tower, which I like. We know that there's a player over there. I don't think that this way is particularly necessary there. I try to, like, limit that communication to a situation where it's definitely going to be understood by my teammates what I want them to do. Because right now, there was someone on your plat still that your teammates needed to take a little extra time to deal with. So even if they tried to run straight towards you, they're not going to get there immediately. We know we have the tower, and the tower is moving slower than any of them do. We got a player there. Like, we're doing fine for now. I don't think we need to worry too much about, you know, them moving up in front of it or anything. Especially since we only have the one player on our team who's playing an actual frontline weapon in those dualies. And they also have crab. So, ideally, they actually want to use this crab. So, I think, like, what can happen with this ways sometimes is people can get annoyed at them, because they maybe don't understand what it is you're asking of them, or maybe what you're asking of them is something that they can't give right now. It needs to be something that you know your teammates can definitely help with. And I don't know that that was a situation where they would have known exactly what you wanted them to do or anything like that. This is a little bit spooky. Okay, we did get... Nice. We did get lead. I don't know that, you know, it's super important. We still have more than half the game left to go, and it's a very small lead. But we got 2 down, so that's absolutely the best case scenario there. I don't know that I agree with that burst bomb. That burst bomb just told everybody you're in this corner. And now look at how everyone's looking at you. You've got to be really careful about what information you give away when you're going to put yourself in a dangerous position. Like, it's one thing if you're cutting off one route so that you can get them where you want them. It's another thing if you're landing exactly where they want you. Like, they want you stuck in a corner. They want you dropping down over a ledge so that you have no escape options. And you've put yourself there a couple of times now, and both times that you have, you've led with a burst bomb that made everyone aware of where you were, and you immediately died for it. Oh, I'm surprised that traded back. Right, Jojo, no fun allowed. You're correct. Nice shred. That was a situation where, like, with nobody else aiming at it, you probably don't expect to be able to shred it, because they should be able to charge it fast enough and throw it. But I guess their team took a little bit too long. What you would also really prefer to have there is for your teammate who is on the other side to be shooting at them, and it didn't look like that was happening, so that was, you know, what you did was correct. It shouldn't have worked because your teammate didn't seem to be cooperating, and the enemy team had to not give them the booyahs fast enough for that to work. But it ended up working out. You know, those two things canceled out, and so you were able to get it anyway. Okay. So from here, what led us to this position? I've noticed that both in this lesson, my lesson, that you had to talk about what information you've given away, as well as it usually being tied to when to throw your sub-weapon. Do you have a video on this? I feel like I have videos where I mention it. I don't know that I have one that's focused specifically on it. Wanted someone else to ride? Okay, gotcha, that makes sense. Sorry, I'm just looking back at what Space Dog has been saying in Discord. In that situation, they wanted where they were riding the tower, they wanted somebody else to ride the tower. I think that's a position where it's like, we're still getting forward and we don't have enough space in front of the tower to know that it's okay to ride it just yet. So maybe they were hesitant to even start a push. But what you can do in that situation is just, like, especially once you get it down to ground level, just hop off the tower. And a lot of the time, someone else will pick it up for you. And if they don't pick it up, well, that's probably fine, because they probably didn't feel safe doing it. And that's a good enough reason not to ride it. Okay, so I like that we're turning around. So we start swimming in, and then this player jumps out. Is there something that we could have done about this? One especially dangerous thing about just being here trying to shred this without support from the team is that you've got your back turned to the whole enemy team, so you don't really have a lot of information about where people are right now. Okay, I feel like we probably could have seen that coming a little bit sooner. I don't know. Yeah, that's the challenging part about going for that shred, that you're getting someone, but you're also gonna have to play it a lot safer afterwards because you don't have any information at all. I'm not sure why we're looking left here. The tower's on the right side, and that's where most people are probably going to be focusing. Ooh, wow, that was lucky. Like, you got the Hydra Splatling for sure, but someone just wandered into the melee range of that, and so that is convenient. And that'll help set up the push, too. Good fight, good fight. Way to use your range. And there's a bunch of people behind you, and you don't have to worry too much about that because the tower is coming this way, and you know it. Nice job, nice job. Way to make him miss. Hot. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. You are on fire right now. That was a little bit scary. You probably want a faster damage combo than that to be able to go after a Hydra that has charge. Fortunately, they were looking at somebody else at the time, but giving them information and not killing them as quickly as you did could mean that they switch targets quickly if they have the opportunity to. So that's a situation where you could have gotten traded back, at the very least. But you end up getting them. And that's... Wow, okay. So we have like 7 kills in a row or something. And that's the game. Alrighty. Well, there you go. That's how you win at the game of Splatoon. You just splat every member of the enemy team repeatedly until you're able to push the tower all the way in. I think I was checking the map. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I think a couple of the engagements with the Hydra were a little bit risky. Hydras that get their aim on quickly can definitely find windows to splat you in that time that you were taking to get the damage on them. So that's one thing to be a little bit worried about. The biggest thing I would say, though, is to be more careful about dropping off of ledges, and, like, that when you do that, to try and play for stealth until you're in a position that allows you any retreat options. You don't want to, like, drop into the most dangerous spot on the map and then be broadcasting your position to the enemy team immediately. If you're going to go for a drop like that, you might want to play it a little bit more stealthy. Might want to wait until you've painted a little more before you try and engage on anything. You might just not want to drop in the first place. But there were a couple of deaths there that were definitely avoidable because of that. But especially considering, you know, the team count that you had, which was, we talked about why that was awkward, that we really didn't have a lot of forward pushing power. Like, we made it work. So that was a solid game there. Do you have any questions for me, Space Dog? Y'all will not hear the questions, but they're typing to me on Discord. I'm looking at Discord and I'm seeing, okay, I see, okay, I wanted someone else to ride the tower. Okay. Maybe I should read The Art of War one of these days. Art of War is, like, neat. It's kind of like... But it's kind of like a guidebook for a thing that is only so applicable to modern activities anymore. There are maybe like a few ideas where you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, that's pretty clever actually. But for the most part, like, they're more unique things to go and learn than these very basic principles of tactics. For a 52 matchup, what do? I struggle against walls in general. You outrange the 52 like crazy. So you see a wall get put up, back up outside of the range where the 52 could shoot at you from behind the wall, shred the wall, and then move back in. You do a crap ton of damage to the wall, but you do damage slowly enough that if you're attacking the wall from within 52 range, they're just going to beat you before you get the wall down, because they only need to hit 2 shots. So with a 52 active, you know, if there's the concern that they're going to get the wall out before you can do damage to them, you might need to play it safe and zone them a little bit. Which other wall weapons are you struggling against? Glenifer Aniston. Did that get used earlier? Hi, Slydra. The Art of War for Business and Commerce. Ugh. That's probably got some gross tactics in it. Big Swig, interesting, yeah. Same general idea there. Like, you just get out of range before you try to take the engagement. Like, if they get on top of you, then you're very much like, I was about to compare you to Marth in Melee, which is probably not a comparison that most people get anyway, but it's also the inverse of Marth in Melee. It's more like, I guess, Peach in the Marth-Peach matchup. Anyway, you either want to be right on top of someone or you want to be really far away from them. You don't want to be in that middle ground where they have the range to hit you, because your kill time just isn't that fast with that weapon at that range. And that's one of the challenges of like moving up quickly with it, that you need to know that there's nobody sharking that's going to get into their effective range against you before you can one-shot them with the melee. Find my feet getting painted so I can't back up. If they're going to get in range of you to be able to do that, then you probably have already lost the matchup. You're probably just kind of stuck at that point. Most you can do there is probably just burst bomb your feet and try and back up that way. If you don't have the ink, then you're going to have to just like jump and horizontal flick. Or horizontal slash or whatever the wipers are calling it. And kind of bunny hop your way out of there. Burst bomb is a really good emergency movement option, though. Like, if you give a burst bomb to like a lot of the backliners in the game, they're very happy to have it, and it makes that a much stronger weapon, a much more difficult weapon to go after. Actually, probably not so much Chargers, I don't know, they'd probably still like it, but not for the same reason. But maybe like a splatling. Because the thing about a Charger is it can just, like, it has the whole Splatana Wiper thing where one very quick tap shot gives it a whole line painted for it, and it's good to go for a while on that one line. So that's less of a problem there, but... Any advice against wipers? Burst bomb nerf has been hurting my ink tank. I don't know the wiper stamper matchup super well myself. I just haven't played enough of both of those weapons to really know exactly how that's approached. I have a feeling like you really just need to be using your range against them. That you don't have a lot of advantages otherwise. But yeah, like, you are just going to have problems against weapons that kill faster than you that can get into range of you before you see them. And that's why this weapon tends to play a bit of a zoning play style that, like, they're going to move up, but only once they know that all their corners are checked. So they're going to move up a little bit slower than a lot of other weapons. Like, you generally consider this more of an anchor weapon than, like, a frontline slayer. Like, this isn't a splatter shot. This isn't a 52 gal. It's going to, run a pretty aggressive build. Like, it's going to run quick respawn and stuff. Especially since it's going to be dying a lot out of zipcasters and stuff. But I think in neutral, it definitely plays a bit more pokey than those more aggressive weapons will. Midline Slayer. Yeah, sure. It's like, the way that FLC visualized it was like, you've got this basic U shape, or like, 4 sides of a square or something, where you've got 2 frontliners who are out at the front, and then 2 other weapons that are behind them. And if they're going to flank, then the frontliners are going to flank and collapse like this, while those 2 in the back push forward to kind of collapse on them and crush in like that. And the Stamper, I think, is generally going to be one of those weapons in the back. It's going to wait for other people to start a lot of fights. It's not going to, like, be the first player painting forward on the team unless you're using Zipcaster a lot of the time. Like, Slayer often means that you are waiting for somebody else to start the fight instead of starting it yourself. Because a weapon with a faster kill time is going to be able to push into more situations without having to worry as much about someone surprising them. Where I could find that image. It was some FLC stream, but it's literally just here. Let me get send editing / plans up real quick, and I'll show everybody. Is this going to show the correct thing? Yes. Cool. So what's a big wide open thing? Just go like this. Not that. This. No, wait, not Clam Blitz. We want Rainmaker. So a lot of the time, the kind of thing that you're going to see is like, you know, player here, and then player here. And like these two push up together while these ones provide cover fire. So the U shape is like here to here to here. Front line, midline, or back line. So this way, for example, these two might push around in this direction, while, you know, maybe this player takes this sort of angle to provide cover fire. Maybe this player tries to get up on top of here to provide cover fire, and that's the way you move up as a team. And this is from a while ago, too, so his thoughts on the game might be different now, but that's the basic principle that I think about. What do I do against inkjets? Shoot them and don't get shot. If they're aiming at you, then you need to make sure that they're going to miss. What you might need to do is fire one shot and then run away, because then you've attracted its attention and it's somebody else's job on your team to be able to deal with it. Is it good to use zip against an inkjet? I can't see why it would be. Inkjet's in the air, and Zipcaster doesn't give you any additional options to be able to splat it. I mean, I guess you can zip through it, but also, if it's clear that it's coming at you as an inkjet in a straight line, I'd think you would just direct it out of the air. That doesn't seem like a difficult shot to hit in my head. I've never been in a situation where someone's tried to do that to me. Is your P plus main? I just play Marth. I used PM as Marth practice for melee. How do I play more of a backline role? So the general idea is basically just you're waiting for a frontliner to start a fight first, and then you're finishing it, instead of you're starting the fights yourself. Like if you watch like the frontline positioning basics and backline positioning basics videos, I explained there why certain weapons play the way they do because of their ranges. Like a short-ranged weapon needs cover and needs to get in range as much as it can of the enemy player before it engages in order to have an advantage. Because once it does those things, it has a faster kill time, and that's when it wins. The backline weapon needs wide-open sight lines and needs to be able to see up over the top of cover, because then the frontline weapon can't approach it as easily, and it has free shots on them while it's coming in. Blind corners are the frontline weapon's best friend, and the backline weapon's worst enemy. So that's sort of the dichotomy there. That's what makes those differences happen. There are some unique considerations for midline weapons, for example, that you have to consider. Does this weapon have more range than mine, or doesn't it? Because with a frontline weapon, you can mostly go in assuming that you are going to get outranged by most things. And then with a backline weapon, you can go in generally assuming that you outrange most things. And there are a few exceptions there, but like it's easier to get into one mindset or the other. Whereas with a midline, it's very matchup dependent which of those modes you go into. Like with, you know, the Stamper, you might have to play like a frontline weapon if you're fighting something that outranges you. And you might have to play like a backline weapon when you're fighting something that you outrange. So it really depends. Used to be a roller main, so my instinct is getting as close as possible fast. Yeah, and that's not always the best idea with this weapon. It's frequently a good idea. The weapon does really well at very close range, but again, what you need to avoid is someone getting into that mid-range against you where they can hit you and they have a faster time to kill. The weapons that you're listing, like Wiper, 52, those weapons are right in that butter zone where you're getting too close to them before you know they're there, and it's already too late. Big Swig was the other one you mentioned. And so that's a range and positioning thing that you're running into. Try Zuka tips. The only tip I have is I actually have a video explaining, but there's an arc that it follows, and you have to understand how that arc works so that you don't just overshoot things. How do I fight ballpoints? I've been seeing a lot more of them. Good question. Best weapon in the game right now, probably. You could probably run 4 ballpoints on a team, and it would be a solid team comp. That weapon is insanely good at short range for being a splatling. It has very long range fire that's very accurate. It can keep very sustained fire for a long time. The main weapon's just insane. And while Inkjet isn't like a premier special or anything right now, it is one of the better pushing specials that you've got, and it's worth running a ballpoint for. And the ballpoint doesn't even hurt for paint. Like, at least with the Hydra, the Gatling gun of Splatoon, the thing that you put into a 1v3 where sometimes it should actually win, it doesn't paint a lot to offset that. But the ballpoint just randomly paints a ton. And it also gets Fizzy Bomb, which it can still use. That weapon's nuts. So if you're having trouble with it, so are a lot of people. Do I shark or draw its attention for someone else? So sharking, the only really effective sharking I feel like you're going to be able to do against something that splats that quickly while it has charge is if you're able to get in melee range of it. Because if you try and shark it from like your mid-range, I guess you might be able to combo with a burst bomb before it moves, but it feels like it should be able to respond to that if it gets hit and maybe make one of those attacks miss or do subpar damage or something. As soon as it has charge and it's aiming at you, you lose. Unless you're in melee range. So you need to avoid that situation. Whatever you can do to do damage and not end up in that situation is what you're hoping for. So deciding whether to draw its attention for someone else is a question that's on a situation-by-situation basis, because skirmishing and slaying, like whether you do one or the other, is never determined purely by you. It's always in part determined by your opponent's decisions. If they're fighting you, you skirmish. If you're, in range to get the kill, or if they're fighting someone else, they're looking somewhere else, that's when you slay. Their question was, how do I fight ballpoints? I've been seeing a lot more of them. Do I shark or draw its attention for someone else? I don't know if I read that out in the first place. All right. Advice for tower. I have a whole video on that, actually. The what am I doing tower control. So that's probably what I'd go to for general advice there. All right. They're typing. How do I deal with Tetra? Either kill them quickly or ignore them. Those are your only two options. If you can't do either of those two things, the Tetras are winning. Is quad ballpoint being seriously labbed out? I don't think so. Probably because there just aren't enough ballpoint players right now. Ballpoint is a very difficult main weapon. And it's taking people time to pick back up, especially if they haven't touched it since like the Splatoon 2 meta, or if they haven't ever picked it up. there just aren't that many North American top-level players who play ballpoint. But it is very, very good. I don't know about quad ballpoint being very, very good, to be clear, but like in Splatoon 2, when ballpoint was strong, they ran a triple ballpoint comp in a Genesis tournament match and won. And double ballpoint was very, very popular throughout the tournament. Like, that's just what that main weapon can do. Final question. What map modes are good for Stamper since I main it? That is a difficult question for me to answer because I don't main it. I feel like Chara would definitely be a better player to ask that question of. Chara or Kyo. See what they think about it. But I would think areas with long open sight lines would be really good because you can poke people out with your range there. You can kind of see where people are coming, and then you can close the distance yourself really quickly with a zip whenever you want to. Anywhere that's good for zip, so anywhere that has like cool shortcuts or walls to jump over, things like that, gonna be a solid map, of course. But I feel like I haven't really seen people say things like, "Oh, I can't play Stamper here." There was a moment where Chara was considering running Octobrush on Flounder instead of the Stamper. Something about the verticality, I think, and how the Stamper doesn't hit over walls while the Octobrush does. So that's maybe something to think about. Given that you played Roller before, I feel like Octobrush would also be a pretty good fit for you. So that's maybe something to look into. Use Try for Flounder? Interesting, okay. Also main Trying too. There you go. That makes sense. Do you struggle with maintaining a good mindset when first playing Splatoon? Everyone struggles with maintaining a good mindset all the time. That is not an easy thing for a human being to do. We are emotional creatures. All they did was buff Inkjet. It was a substantial buff to Inkjet, though. It lets the Inkjet do things that it could not do before. And it also makes it a lot safer, because it's harder to hit. Like, that was a massive Inkjet buff. Where Inkjet was, you know, holding the ballpoint back before, and now it's like, this Inkjet is now just good enough that it's worth taking advantage of how insane the main weapon is now. If I have more questions, can I ask you later? Yeah, just DM me. My DMs are hosed right now. I've got like 20 unread ones that I've got to get to at some point, but I'll definitely get to them eventually. It's not that I'm ghosting you. It's that too many people are trying to talk to me. So, all right. I am going to go take a quick restroom break, and then I will be back to start on our next VOD review. In the meantime, here's a frog. Thank you, Frog. I got a granola bar. Okay. Someone needs to send Jem a duck so I can make little melee jokes. I think I've met Duck. Yeah, I definitely met Duck. He came to a tournament I was helping run at one point. Jem, you're cool. Thank you, kitty. Okay. Bubs. Okay. Got the code. And oh, well, I did a dumb. At this point, I can just leave the call. There's nobody else I'm going to be talking to. HNYR. There. All right. How do you get involved with helping run events? Like, not as volunteer, but as someone more deeply involved. That's an interesting question because I got involved so early on that the scene has probably changed in terms of how that happens. When I got started, it was completely by accident, but there was nobody running tournaments in my area at all. There was nobody who was, like, trying to do anything. At the most that we had, this was in the Smash community, were Smash Fests. That is, we invite a bunch of people over to somebody's house, and we all play together. And we don't really have a, like, tournament format or anything like that. And, so, like, places where we were actually running brackets didn't exist. And I was just the first person to be like, hey, we should do this thing or something. Or no, I wasn't even the first person to say it. I just made a Facebook page when someone was like, hey, we should do this thing. And I was like, sure, I'll make a Facebook page for it. And then everyone showed up expecting that I was the tournament organizer when I'd never done that before. So I became a tournament organizer. That was basically how it happened. There were like 5 or 10 people that were showing up. But we ran it for long enough that it grew, and it became a bigger thing. So, like, one very easy way to do it is just run an event yourself and figure out how that works and make mistakes and get experience working with other people and realize, you know, why people do things the way they do and what works and what doesn't. And that's one way to get in on it. Another way would be to shadow another tournament organizer and be like, hey, I want to help you out during this tournament and just kind of like learn how tournaments work. And, you know, maybe maybe you can train me up to be a deputy for you or a sub if you ever want to not have to run it on a day, or, you know, I'm sure that that's a valuable thing to have. So just approach someone who runs a tournament that you like and see how you can help them. That'd be my best advice, I guess. Pioneer of Facebook group Smash Bros. The pioneer of Facebook group Smash Bros. I honestly, that's not entirely wrong. In that, at the time, I don't know that anybody else was actually using Facebook groups for that. Like, that was just something I think I took from, like, how I used to set things up with friends in high school. And so it just felt natural to make it that way. Because there was a Facebook group, and that Facebook group grew substantially as time went on. But I don't know if I was following a model that anybody else used. This was like at a time where the Mail It On Me Facebook page, which was what basically brought so many people onto Facebook in the Smash community, was only just getting started. Like, that initiative happened partway through my freshman year in college, after we had already started those events. So I guess that I never thought about that, but that is kind of true. That was just a piece of social media that I happened to be in touch with that was really helpful for that purpose. Literally just got home from picking up cables for a LAN party for friends. Nice. Yeah, like, it doesn't feel like great advice to tell someone, how do you get into it? Do it. But also, that actually tends to be what people need to hear. Because, like, that's kind of, just, like, go make an event. Just go do the thing. You'll learn a lot more by doing it than you will by asking anybody. So, I don't know. Hopefully that was helpful. Anyway. Greatest losers run of all time? I don't know. The top 5 are probably all Mango. I mean, there's Genesis 1. There's, was it Royal Flush? It was whatever that was that he did on his, on Mother's Day, I think. His press start run was pretty nuts, because he dropped into losers like round 1 because he showed up an hour late. There are a lot of really good runs. Is there a guide on how to do events? No. And such a thing would probably not... There are some basic guidelines for sure, but there's a lot of innovation in that space. You really want to look at how other people run it and take inspiration from the things they do well and take notes on the things that you don't think they do well and do those things better. There's a lot of information out there on bracket theory, on like how to seed events, on how to run tournament formats. And there's a, generally accepted best practices if you just attend Splatoon tournaments that you probably already know about, the way that we run things. Because I think there's a lot more room for innovation in tournament formats than we currently actually have, that we currently actually practice. And I think like every tournament organizer in the Splatoon scene owes it to themselves to try something weird occasionally just to see if people like that format instead. But we've generally kind of settled on usually like Swiss into elimination brackets. Sometimes round robin, sometimes just bracket all the way. Really depends. The way that it's marketed is really important. The way that you like bring other people on board and communicate information to players, and how you handle signups, and how you handle it, keeping the bracket moving. All of those, there are a bunch of different approaches to that can be successful. So I don't know. Hbox's 2016 run. But that meant that Hbox won. I didn't want Hbox to win. I'm not what you would call an Hbox fan. But yeah, like, don't go and like look up how they're done. Go and participate in events and like figure out how they're done by looking at their Discord server and looking at what announcements are made, and like go to different kinds of tournaments run by different people so you get different ideas there. And then once you have a good enough idea, just run your own and put all those ideas together. Like, don't look for someone to teach you this. Teach yourself and go do it yourself is my advice. Like, literally just taking initiative is the only skill you need, but it is something that only the tournament organizers have, basically. That is the primary skill that you need to do well at that. And so, don't ask for someone else's advice. Go and learn from what other people have done, but primarily, like, be self-taught on that. Okay. Welcome to the Squid School Discord server, Gaming and Adventures. And hello, random noob. That was actually what I used to use as my old, like, Halo CE tag. I think it was, like, some noob or something like that. So that either some noob killed you or you killed some noob. And either way, it was, it was a lose-lose for my opponent. It was great. Taking initiative it's something that people are not trained to be good at, because you cannot be trained to be good at it. You can't, like, maybe your parents can make you do it better, but, like, this is why when you go up to some English teachers and ask them what a word means, they're going to tell you to look it up in the dictionary instead of telling you. Even though take longer, they're trying to train you to take initiative. Because the school system does not allow for that. You need to go and do that yourself. And taking initiative is like... It is so important to just being an independent person. And not, like, being railroaded by somebody else for how you're supposed to live your life. So, I would encourage you, if you have an interest in doing it, just frickin' do it. Go do the thing. Say, I am running this tournament. Put it down on Twitter or something so that you can't walk it back. And then you're there and you have a problem to solve. And from there, your mind will work things out. What's going on here today, Olivia? This is the Squid School stream. We do this every week on Tuesdays. And actually, we're doing it for a while on Thursdays now. And what we do is we play with the VOD reviewees, the people that we're going to VOD review later on in the stream, and then they get a VOD review each. The reason I'm taking so long to just read chat right now is that our other VOD reviewee is unavailable to be in the call today, and so we've just got some time, because it's not like they're waiting on it or anything. The thing with Lil Timmy, though, is that if you play with someone who puts their tag as Lil Timmy, you know they're not a Lil Timmy. Because Lil Timmys don't talk that way. It would just be Timmy. Or something like that, right? Like, as soon as someone says Lil Timmy, you know it's that. Whereas with some noob, some people are actually going to be honest about that. I was not good at Halo. question. Comps have been interesting lately. What's your approach when you have very mismatched comps? Mismatched is probably what you're looking for there. Like 4 frontliners against 3 backliners and a brush or something. You just got to look at the win condition. Like, what is my team good at doing and try to play to that? And what is my team bad at doing and try and avoid that? Like, there's only so much you can do sometimes, but you got to do the best you can, and just knowing what is each comp good at, what is each comp bad at, is the most knowledge you can kind of bring to that. It's also very important to not look at that comp and let it tilt you right away. Like, never give up on the game. Just, like, run it all the way until its conclusion, you know, doing your best all the time. All right. Actually, I am here. I just managed to make it. Do you want to hop in the voice chat then, Bubs? You want to go to Squid School Discord server and then hop in waiting room? Someone's name is Little Timmy. There's an 80% chance they're an alpha. I don't think that's true. I think Lil Timmy has transcended, even if Alpharad came up with it, and I don't think that's true at all either. Like, Splat Tim has just been a meme in Splatoon for ages. That was an old Splatoon 1 meme. I don't think that was just Alpharad. It's kind of like how every teacher talks about a kid misbehaving, and they always say Johnny and Sally. It's always those ones. Picking names that are just old-timey enough that the kids you're talking to are unlikely to actually refer to themselves that way anymore. All right, well, I'll keep an eye out for Bubs' input there, but we'll get going for now. Okay, we're looking at V-Slosh. We're playing with a Mini, a 52, and a Crack-On roller. So definitely not like a meta composition or anything, but it's workable for sure. Got a good amount of paint for the roller. I'd say definitely, you know, make sure to paint when you can. In part because, you know, your special's useful, but and also just that your Crack-On roller can move. You're outranged, your whole team is outranged by their Tri-Stringer, but then almost your entire team outranges both of the splatter shots. So if you can, you know, keep the Tri-Stringer out of the game, kind of the way that you would a Charger, by taking different sight lines, by staying out of range, and you can get the other weapons to fight you before they have help, then that's going to be really useful because you just, you know, zone them out and then you win, and then you rush forward and the stringer only has so much they can do. You're going to be really important on this comp for attacking over ledges, as the tower has to move past them, and also for being able to clear the tower. You and the roller are both better equipped to do that than the other two, especially since they don't have, like, bombs or anything. Let's see how this goes. Okay. Let's hop out of there. Okay, we're moving up really quickly, and we're moving up into a position where we don't have a lot of cover. Like, this is a lot further. This is further forward than I want to be with, like, a 52 gal. This position's really dangerous. You're kind of... You've only got one way out. As soon as your feet get painted, you're just stuck here in mid, no cover, nothing to hide behind. You end up getting away with it, but your teammate goes down, and I have a feeling that if your teammate hadn't been there to take the shots, I think you probably would have lost the fight. Good flank. They were definitely way out of position being that close to that area without checking for paint or anything. Nice. Yeah, so far you're positioning really well. You're keeping yourself, like aside from the opening there, you're keeping yourself at a range that works for your weapon. You're not overcommitting here. That was I think you might have missed the player there. I think you're tunneling on the right-hand side here. Because someone runs straight up to you and then just runs by you to get to the tower. That's something that needs to not happen in this mode in general. If somebody gets close enough that they can shoot at the tower, they need to be getting shot by you first. That's the win condition. And this roller here, they're right between the T in past and the C in checkpoint. This roller here just flicked at you and then swam straight forward, and you can see the splashes the whole way. And you're just throwing a bomb, which signals to me that you didn't see them at all. So they're just getting free access to the tower right here. They get your teammate, they stop the tower push, and then they get you. And that's something that you could have seen from max range and stopped way earlier. So, I talk about tower control in the video, What Am I Doing? Tower Control, the part 2. I would definitely recommend watching that. The general plan in tower is you, while you're riding the tower, create a perimeter around the tower where if the opponents walk into that perimeter, they're getting shot at right away. If you don't create that, then this happens to the tower. Somebody just gets on top of it, and the tower rider is at a disadvantage because everyone knows where they are, and they're just kind of easy pickings. So your team loses a fight because of it. You need to not let them be able to take that fight in the first place, and they get by much too easily here. Momentary stream deaths. We haven't been dropping frames at all today, so it has to be on your end, I think. Maybe try lowering the quality or something. So while, it's a good idea here to, get some paint down, get special, there's still a fight going on the far right. If you're able to jump to anyone who's safe or get a little bit closer to that, or at least look at that to see what's going on with it, I think that's a pretty important thing to do right now, because otherwise the fight is happening without your input. It's a 3v3 on the board right now, but if you're not a part of that fight, it's a 2v3. So definitely important to be ready for and aware of that engagement instead of, because you can get that extra paint for the tri-strikes anywhere. Good to be putting some pressure on the enemy team so that they can't just get free fights against your teammates. If you were closer, that player who was on the other side of the tower, you would have been able to spot them, maybe get an off angle. They were in a disadvantageous position, but you just aren't advancing here into a place where you're able to have any impact on those fights. So we are able to get that player, which is good. But someone went down behind you, and you really need to know what's going on with that. Yeah. We took a while to turn around and see that coming, and by the time we did, it was too late. So I think the big thing right now to figure out for you is, where is the fight? Where is it that a fight is most likely to happen? How soon and when and where is that fight going to happen? And making sure you're in a position to do the best fighting that you can when it does happen. You were in that really good position when your team got its strong push, at least up until the point where the roller got through. But at the very beginning, at the rollout, you put yourself too far forward. You put yourself into the fight before your team was prepared to be set up for you. You walked into no man's land. And then here, you stayed so far back that a fight happened without you having any agency over it. I don't think you need to run after the tower here. There isn't any signal that's the tower is under duress. There's no orange ink that shows that somebody could be over here. You've got multiple teammates looking at it anyway. And with a teammate having just used Kraken and going into the enemy side, that's a significant enough distraction that when you go in, you should probably be able to follow up with the Kraken and be able to get something going there and be able to extend the push for longer by splatting people. But just staying back here didn't really accomplish anything, didn't give you like extra paint that you could put down, didn't help you win fights, at least until their Kraken just decided to dive in and die, like your Kraken apparently did. Krakens should always be backing up a few seconds before their thing is about to end so that they are not just going to get punished like this for going for it. So that's a mistake on both of their parts. And like there's a hammer that just went in to mid, and there are shots being fired. A player goes down in mid, like right when the fight is starting here. We're taking a different angle. What could easily happen here is your team just dies, and then you come around on this flank and there's no one to follow up on it. When the fight is happening, you've got to get there as soon as you can and, you know, find who's shooting your teammates, find who your teammates are shooting at, and try and help with that engagement. Because, like, setting up the flank is great if you're just in a neutral state. If people are already going down and there's someone in your midst, like, that's what we should be focusing on. We shouldn't be dipping out on our teammates then. I would definitely not have come to the right here. For the same reason, actually, as the last flank that we attempted. We know there's a fight going on right now in mid. They got a player on our team without any fight, and the other player is on tower, so they're at a disadvantage there. The fight that we need to help with is in mid here so that we can stop that second player from going down and trade it back. Because we drop to the right here, yes, that's going to give us a position that that player can't see, but also we are going to take way longer to get into a position where we're going to be able to help, and by that time the tower is already compromised. We don't have it anymore. So, like, yeah, maybe we can, you know, shark and get a pick or something, but we lost the play that we had where we were trying to get on tower because the tower just never got protected. So, we do end up getting a pick there with a bomb. We still don't have control of the tower, though, and that's really the priority here. And one of the big reasons you don't want to push up too far past where that fight is that if you have to turn around and come back to it, you're turning your back to the enemy team. You're turning your back to where they're going to be spawning in from and where they're going to be looking. And that's dangerous for reasons that have just been illustrated. So now, this is dangerous. They're probably going to take lead here. I'm going to call it right here because you were 2 players down, and then your teammate went in and took another fight and staggered the team. We're down in players, and we're likely to continue to be if people keep fighting. Fortunately, the opponent there took a 1v1 when they really didn't need to, and so your mini was able to trade that back, and now the numbers are even as long as we stay alive here. But we didn't stay alive. We kept fighting, and someone just went down for free. Good pick there. The stringer should probably have stopped you by now. You were up there close enough that if they were in position to actually defend this, and they're the only weapon on their team that's really super good at defending this ledge. So this is the thing they probably should have been looking at the most. If they'd been looking and firing shots a little bit sooner, they definitely could have splatted you there for all the time that you were standing in front of the wall, but we get back behind it, which is good. Alright, so they don't take lead. They do get checked, though, which is a big deal. Fight is happening in mid. That's a little bit too far away for you to really have a huge impact on. It would definitely be really helpful, because this is a roller, right? Rollers don't paint very well for themselves. It'd be helpful for you to take aggro off of them so that they don't get their feet painted. Because that's a really easy way to stop a roller, to keep it from getting close enough to you that it can use its one-shot range. if you get the enemy team's attention a little bit here, that might give the roller a little bit more time to maneuver. They might not have to pop the Kraken. They might be able to pop it further forward or something like that. But Angle has, in general, been playing very aggressively. And with teammates who play very aggressively, sometimes you're not going to be able to save them. But sometimes, if you follow them in, that gives you a better chance of winning than if you watch them go in and die. Even if they're, going in a little bit too aggressively, it never hurts to give them a little bit of paint at their feet to get them out, to try and crossfire the opponent a little bit, to maybe get the opponent's attention to cover fire for them so that they can move and do something that they wouldn't be able to do if they were in there on their own. We don't want to just watch them dive in by themselves. If we're in position to help them, we should definitely try to help them where we can. There was movement there, and I need to figure out exactly what it was that would have saved you, but you focused too hard on sloshing, and it got you killed. Alright, so we trade that back. From here, this is just a tower path thing, first of all, that we missed the sloshes here because it jogs to the right. So knowing the tower path will help you there. At this point, seeing that the whale is being brought towards you, it's targeting your teammate. So you could just back up and it will pass you. What you probably want to do right here is swim forward and then squid roll back to get around it. But what you're doing is moving in the same direction that it's currently moving. So it's just going to stay on top of you the whole time. You've got to cross it up. You've got to go a different direction. Make it change direction, and you buy yourself time that way. But usually the best thing to do with whale is to figure out which way it's going, then swim that way for a second, and then squid roll back the other way when it starts to catch up to you. If you do that twice, you'll take no damage from a whale, and it'll be over. Continuing to slosh when the only player there is the Kraken is not going to help you. You're just giving the Kraken information about where you are, basically. Better to swim away, paint somewhere, maybe shark someone, throw bombs at something. It's not a valuable use of ink to keep sloshing at the Kraken at all. Maybe if you need to get it off the tower so that it doesn't take lead, I guess there's that. But this was going to end soon enough that you'd be able to stop it if it stayed on tower, which is why it backed away. So you really didn't need to do that. Okay, good bomb, good bomb. Now, I would just get away. Get behind cover immediately. With a tri-stringer looking at you, with your feet painted, you just need to not be in a place that's easily shot. Whew. Yeah, that shot could have come a lot earlier and would have splatted. But again, we back away from where the fight is. We've got these specials, like Hammer and Kraken, that are gonna announce when they're going in. And they're being popped, and we're seeing them be popped right in front of us, and we're not following them in or throwing bombs in that direction or anything. We're just kind of sitting in the ink and watching those things happen. That's your team telling you it's go time. That's your team using their best options. They're playing their strongest cards. You're gonna get the most value out if you commit to that push too, than if you sit back and watch it happen. Your team is basically fighting without you right now. And only now do we go in. After that fight's already happened, after our team has lost it, you can look up and see that 2 players have now gone down. this wasn't the time. The time was earlier when your team took the fight. So we see that there's someone out in front. What I probably would have done there is throw a bomb, because a bomb is going to have a wider hitbox that they have to get out of. I would have put it down probably right at the front of their paint to either force them back or force them to the side. And from there, I know better where they're going to be. If you check by sloshing, then they don't have to move as far to dodge it, and you have less information about which way they had to have gone. There. You do get them with the bomb eventually. It was definitely scrappy, though. Like, that's a situation where if, like, they aim slightly better, they probably still win. And we're also in a position where we have our feet painted. Or, like, we can't even paint our feet because it's unpaintable in some of that spot. We want to make sure that if we're going to be in that sort of a situation, and we're going to keep attacking, that we're at least out of their range, so that we're still going to win that fight. If we're in their range, and our feet are painted and stuff, that might not be a situation to keep fighting from. Alright, so now we've got to get out in front of the tower to keep it safe from them pushing in. Like, I'm not a huge fan of coming out left here. It worked before where you got the tri-stringer, but they haven't come here since. We haven't caught them out this way since. And what I'm worried about is that someone just, like, sprints straight into mid and gets to the tower, and you're not in between them and the tower. But so here we kind of frighten the stringer back a little bit. They start to move over the other direction, and we track them. Really smart, really smart. You see them moving in that direction. You're like, nope, you're not going from there. And then nice, 3 down, beautiful. This is early to be popping the tri-strikes, because 3 of them are already dead. You're not keeping anyone away from the tower by throwing them this early. Wait for like 5 seconds for them to actually drop down from spawn, and then throw these, so that it actually buys you time. You're not leading your shots very carefully there. Like, the player is clearly, like, holding down the ZR button, but moving to your left. You want to aim further left, because your shot is going to have travel time. And here's, again, is the danger of playing an off-angle in tower control, because we're not controlling that perimeter around the tower there, and they just walk forward at the tower and get to it. If that T-Tech isn't in a position to shoot the players who are on the tower, they're not your top priority. And the people who are in that position are. I like how the person with the Trump tag called themselves sun-dried apprentice. Like they're calling him orange. Anyway. Did Gem paint his nails? No, Aplo painted Gem's nails. So, yeah, I think the big thing there is, like, because the scoreboard will tell you that you slayed really well in this game. And there were definitely a bunch of situations where you just kind of won fights. But the fights that you're winning are often fights that aren't that important to the objective. That KA number isn't going to carry every game if, you know, you splat 3 people, but then the one player that you don't splat is able to just kind of like walk right by you and get on the tower. It would have been better to just splat that one player and ignore the other 3. So I would definitely go and watch the What Am I Doing tower control video and think about that. I think there's a certain amount of like awareness of enemy positions and awareness of the numbers advantage that you want to start cultivating so that you can make these decisions more carefully. Because I think typically a lot of the time that you see people just kind of sitting in the ink, they don't really know what they should be doing next. And the answer to that question is, you know, you need to have information on who's got an advantage right now, on where the fights are happening, and either, you know, if you have advantage, be in a position to support those fights, or if you're at disadvantage, to make sure you're keeping yourself safe. I think, like, that decision tree is really not developed enough right now for you to win the game that you played here. You're technically capable of like beating the players that you need to beat. You just don't know like where to be and when to be there to be able to set up a tower push for your team and actually keep it going long enough to get the points you need. So I think that's where this one fell short here. So I feel like I kind of said about everything that I needed to as I was going through it. I don't really have too much more to summarize than that. Hopefully that was helpful, Bubs. I think what might have happened is that I thought the walls... oh, you're... Okay, that was from earlier. Gotcha. Going to watch the tower control video too. Awesome, yeah. I'll link that in the chat real quick, just since we've referred to it so much already. And here it is. That is a very long URL. I don't know why it's that long, but that should take you there. I'm going to double check that real quick. No, not on that tab. Okay, well, it was the correct link at any rate. So there you go. Okay. So thank you to both Bubs and Space Dog for submitting your footage. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me or ask me now since you got my attention. I am very behind on my Discord DMs. I'm going to try and sort through some of those today, but we'll see how far I get. But that is definitely a way to contact me. Oh, okay, so everything after that is cool. Very cool. All right, well, that's the link that it created for me. Oh, that's got a timestamp in it, doesn't it? So that would start you at like 530 seconds. Why is it? Oh my god, that's so annoying. Okay. Let me try and copy and paste that in a way that's not dumb. Why did it do that? I literally copied and pasted. I hit Control-C, and it copied and pasted the same exact thing. There. Boom. Okay. That should work. Yeah. Okay. That's all you need in terms of that link. Thank you, YouTube. Alrighty. So you use that last URL so you don't get timestamped to some weird point in the middle of the video. Stretch. I stretch. Okay. Nope, not that. So, if there are, I don't see, thank you so much, sorry couldn't be VC. Yeah, no problem, no problem. All right, well, if there aren't any more questions there, then that'll probably do it for the stream here. Thank you to everybody for watching. I'm going to put some links in the chat here. These are things that I do. I've got YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. There's a Twitter, there's a Discord server. I also have a Patreon and a Medify account if you want to support the channel. Definitely appreciate that support. Medify is for private lessons. Patreon and also supporting as a YouTube member allows you to pick the comps that are chosen for Silly Comp Sunday or whatever day they end up being on. So thank you again, everybody, for watching, and that will do it for Squid School today. Have a good one, everybody. We're going to go and raid out to... We could raid Let's go raid. We have a lot of options today. Many friend. Let's go raid Jazzicorn. Jazz is doing some gaming. Looks like X rank. Three, two, one, and out will go the raid. Bye, everyone.